Why, hello, and welcome to the show. It is Thursday, October 7th, 2021. We're back for another exciting episode of The Ram Show. Hi, Zach. How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, he didn't say average this week.
I forgot about it, I guess.
So anything new with you? I didn't talk to you last week. Sorry, by the way. Oh man, life is so crazy right now. Crazy busy with stuff and other things. So anyway, yeah. So what's new with you? Anything?
No.
Same old, same old.
You know how it goes.
Same stuff, new day. Pretty much. So anyway,
I'd say a different word instead of stuff, though.
Hey, I'm trying to be PC
Also
on this
starts
show.
With S.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be PC on this show.
Understandable.
Actually, okay, so that is one of the words that you can't get away with saying, according to the FCC. There are other words that you can actually say that the FCC is totally fine with. Kind of weird. But that one is one that apparently, basically anything to do with, like, bodily fluids and derogatory terms. Basically, that's what we got going on. So, anyway, some updates, right? So, things are going to be changing a little bit. My schedule will be, more consistent starting next week, because if you remember, I am starting a new job. So that is next week, starting Monday, bright and early, 8 a.m. in the morning. So my commute will be drastically shortened to like 5 minutes. Gonna be pretty sweet.
That's even shorter than mine.
Yeah, it could even be shorter than... Actually, it might even be shorter than 5 minutes. It might be like 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, anyway. So, like... Yeah, that's gonna be pretty awesome. So, I showed you the pictures the other day of the facility.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
In addition to those right there, I just found out today that there is a restaurant basically on site with like a chef, and he basically like asks you, like, he has a menu every day, and he's like, okay, what do you want? You respond back to him, and then like you're good to go.
Well, at my work we have a vending machine, so basically the same, right? It's actually worse. It's like a fridge, and it's like covered in cameras, and you take it and then you have to ring it up yourself.
Oh my gosh.
On this console.
So I don't know if there's any fees or anything associated with, like, eating.
It's all overpriced too.
Eating at this, but like if there is, like, I guess it's like some nominal fee or something like that. This company is a very progressive company. So
I think that other companies like mine should take the hint.
Really? What else? Oh man. Oh yeah. So, where do we live, Zach? What area of the country?
Midwest.
And what happens during the winter time in the Midwest?
Stuff falls from the sky.
Yeah, snow, and it's very cold, and it makes a mess, right?
Correct. Yes.
So, when you show up at work, where does your vehicle sit all day?
Are you going to tell me you have a parking garage now?
I have a parking garage, and not just a parking garage, a heated parking garage.
Well, I have that at my apartment, so we're even then.
Okay, my vehicle will sit outside before going to work, so when I leave work, it'll be nice and warm. Just not in the morning. So, okay, there's that.
Yeah, usually when I get to work, I just turn on the defrost at max and then turn my car off. So when I remote start it, it gets defrosted all night.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have remote start too. So
honestly, it's 2021. Everybody should have it.
Well, okay, look, hang on. There are certain areas of the country where you do not necessarily need a remote start, but yeah, like if you live in the Midwest area here where it snows,
you do. It's either too hot or too cold.
So
one or the other. Too hot doesn't mean you don't need it. It means it's too hot.
So one thing that I will definitely be considering doing within the next couple of years, being with my, new employer, assuming that everything, goes well with this new employer, right? Which it should. I will be looking at purchasing a newer vehicle. So requirements, so I plan to get a truck again. Requirements must be 4-wheel drive, must include remote start, and one thing that I will probably look at adding, depending on how much it costs, is, so have you ever heard of, well, no, you're not a car guy, but it's called a block heater.
Oh, yeah, I know what that does.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that warms the engine so it can start.
Exactly, yeah.
If it's like giga cold. My car actually has that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, and it's all hooked up?
It came with it.
Oh.
Like, from the factory.
Interesting. Well, so a lot of cars come with it, but they don't necessarily have the, like, it's there, but, like, you have to have a mechanic go in, or if you know what you're doing, I guess, and, like, actually put the cable on or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Well, then I have no idea. I don't know.
So, like, it's actually, like, already installed in the block, but, like, there's just a plug that's, like, sticking out of it, and it doesn't actually have a cable on it, so you just have to, like, buy the cable and plug it in, and then you're good to go. So.
All I know is there's a plug on the front of the car that you're supposed to be able to plug in.
Oh, okay, you should be good then. You should be good then.
And it's supposed to make the car start in the cold, I guess?
Yeah, so, so do you know what the theory is behind that? Do you know why that works?
Because it doesn't start because it's too cold?
Well, so...
Or if you make it warm?
Yeah, so basically, it's not designed to, like, be super, super, super hot, but it's designed to keep things in the engine bay, warm-ish, so that it has a much easier time cranking over. So that's what it does. So that's the theory behind it. So you have a heated parking garage right now, so that's good, right? But let's say you didn't have that
parked outside.
Yeah, so let's say you were parking outside or something like that, and it was going to be like a super frigid night or something like that. One of those nights where like the wind chill's like 40 below and the winds are like just crazy and things like that, right? Because we get those bitterly cold days in this area. The theory would be is that you would plug your vehicle in overnight, right? And then when you go to start it in the morning, it's good to go. It's ready. You're not going to have trouble starting it. So, anyway. So, yeah. So, I'm thinking that. Yeah. So, I'm getting excited. So, now, let me ask you. So you work for a decent-sized corporation. I will be working for a decent-sized corporation. When you first started, what was your onboarding like?
In terms of what? Like HR?
Just in general.
My onboarding was like sit with HR for 2 hours and then go and meet my manager, and then he barely knows what he's doing, so ask my coworkers for help on everything.
Okay. Would you
and then he left after a month.
Oh my gosh. Would you like to hear what my first day looks like?
Is it like, I'm sure you're going to tell me, oh, first I'm going to come in and then I'm going to visit the spa and then I'm going to get a massage and then I'm going to eat some gourmet food and then I'm going to get to work.
Not quite. So, here's what my first day looks like. So, I will be at the office here in my area. So Monday, October 11th, 2021. So from 8 to 8:30, the very first thing they will do is shove a camera in my face and take my picture. And then I will, so basically they're going to, get my badge all together and things like that.
Oh yeah, you'd laugh if you saw my badge photo. It is horrible.
Is it really?
It's horrible. My hair was so long because all the haircut places were closed.
Oh yeah.
It's
So
horrible. I don't have it with me, or I would show you.
I'm going
It's in
to
my car.
I'm going to probably put a little bit of gel in my hair. Because my hair gets pretty wild, just to keep it kind of in place and make it look decent-ish. Because that same picture will also be used for company-wide email stuff, I guess. So
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that, fortunately.
You
obviously
can
put your picture on email if you want to.
Oh, I guess in my organization they're going to. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So, but I'll deal with that later. Anyway, and then of course, there's all the fun stuff of like completing your your required paperwork and things like that. The yada yada yada. What do you want for taxes? And yes, I'm an American citizen and I'm legally allowed to work in the United States and blah 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 blah. So we do all that. And then I take a tour of the office, right?
Right.
And then from 8:30 to 9, I have a welcome and an overview of my week with an HR person, and that will be via a video chat session. Then I have a technology overview, and I get my workstation all set up and things like that. So we'll do that, and then I've got a bunch of training stuff from 10:45 to noon or something like that. And then I'll have lunch at the at this restaurant thing, basically. And then after that, I go take another tour of all the IT stuff. And then there's some more videos and basically bunch of onboarding stuff. And then I will get introduced to my new manager at the end of the day. So, and that's kind of what my first week kind of looks like. It's just a bunch of training and stuff like that, and meeting with people and things like that. Oh, and then on Wednesday from 4 to 5, there's a happy hour.
I don't drink. You're not gonna get me with that one.
No, but okay, happy hour / socialization / yada yada yada.
But the kind of company that does that is probably a good company.
So, well, from 2 to 4, there's this bike thing that's going on. I'm not partaking in it because I'm totally not in shape to do that. But there's gonna be a bunch of employees that are that just go bike around the area.
Okay.
Yup. And yes, and then they all meet back, for the happy hour. So, yeah. So that'll be a really good way to meet some people, things like that. Oh, and so this particular company that I'm going to be working for, and we should probably mention this again. We've mentioned it in the past, but we don't actually specifically say where we work because, people just don't need to know that information. What we do, things like that. Sure, I'll share that kind of stuff. But anyway, but this particular company that I will be working for, they have another location in another area, and so they are going to basically bus a bunch of people up to this area. So anyway, so that's a thing. Yeah. And then I just saw on social media that they took a bunch of people, or I don't know if they took, but a bunch of people from the company went to a college football game the other day, and it looked really fun. And so yeah, anyway. So it looks like this company tries to do a lot of employee appreciation things and stuff like that. So yup.
Oh yeah, well, at my company, they show their appreciation by letting the rest of the office have the leftovers of the food that gets ordered when the bigwigs have a conference. And yeah. They yeah, they do that. So I
I have
got
I have
you.
a restaurant with a dedicated chef. Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, I don't feel great about where I work right now.
Look, okay, here's the thing. If a good position opens up, right?
Oh, I've
I
already dusted off the resume. Don't worry.
if a good position
Not just
opens
for
up,
that though. I'm not waiting around.
right? No, but if a good position opens up, I will let you know. And yeah, well, let me get in there and get myself established a little bit. But anyway, dude, it would be awesome to have you in this area, like for reals.
It would be awesome to work somewhere good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so tired of working where I work.
So it's weird. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, I walk out of the building. I'm done with my current employer, which is gonna be really weird.
That felt so good last time I knowingly did that. But I
so,
hated them. It's gonna feel good this time too. I can't wait.
okay, here's another
Oh, I
question.
can't wait for my exit interview too. I'm gonna roast them.
What so what is your typical attire when you head to the office?
Black jeans and a polo.
Black jeans and a polo.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. My understanding is that my new company is pretty chill on a lot of things.
People dress dressy. My company.
Oh yeah, my
But then there's
company's
my
like
coworker who occasionally walks around without shoes
my
and gets yelled at for it. But I think it's funny.
my company is kind of so there's like a mix, but like it's like pretty business casual. So
Yeah, business casual is pretty usual. I feel
yeah, they said a lot of people wear jeans.
jeans are fine. I mean, I actually like these black jeans as a cheat. For that.
So,
Right? It's like,
yep.
they're black pants, but they feel like jeans.
So one of
They
the
are jeans.
other things this company does is they have like a mentor program. So like you get set up with a mentor, and then you like check in with them, like I think it's like once a month, like the first year, and then like after that it's like quarterly or however often you want to, and things like that. So it's kind of a neat idea. Things like that. So what I want an intern at some point. I don't think it's gonna happen in the IT department though, because I think most of the interns in that area are at the other location. But anyway, I think that would just be kind of fun, have an intern. So I don't know. You'd hate it, but
I don't need an intern. I just want opportunities for advancement. That's basically the reason I'm leaving, because like, they keep saying, how they're gonna like talk about advancement, but they never do. It's always vaporware. I'm just like, no, I'm done with this. This is stupid.
Yeah. I was told that like I guess so like, I'll have my specific duties, right? But like let's say that there is something that pops up, right? And it gets advanced to, another tier or something like that, or another department or something, right? If I have the ability to, if I'm not like, occupied with doing other things, my understanding is that I can kind of follow that ticket if I want.
Well, at my company, all the people who would do it are very hard to reach, and they work from home 4 days a week.
Interesting.
And whether or not they'll reply to you is kind of a coin flip. So, yeah, it's
Yep.
Well, and then they wonder why no one wants to do things that require escalation, because nobody has access to things. Permissions get denied, all that fun good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned that there is this, like restaurant thing on site, right? But it might not be such a good thing because apparently, so, you've heard of the Freshman 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently they call this the company's name 15.
Mm,
So, it's okay. I'll just work it off in the on site fitness center.
for sure, yeah.
Look, okay. I really think that honestly, more companies should if they don't have the resources to be able to have something on site, I think that they should at least partner with a local like fitness center or something like that. I think that more companies should invest in their employees' health.
Companies need to invest in their employees in general.
Well, this is true. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so like tomorrow's gonna be.
It's gonna be.
It's a good thing.
It's better when. It's better. Things are just better at your company when people aren't leaving left and right.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, tomorrow is gonna be. It's a good thing I'm not on a diet right now because I definitely break it tomorrow. We're doing like donuts and we're gonna go like get wings and things like that. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Look, okay, my current employer by no means has been a horrible employer to work for. In every job you're gonna have your ups and downs and things like that. But uh, look, here's the thing. My boss is a great guy. He's navigating being a new franchise owner, and things like that. But he has probably been one of the best bosses I've ever had. So, it's been fun. It's been a good job. It's gonna be sad to leave, but at the same time, I have to think about myself and my career and my advancements and things like that. And the awesome thing is that my boss completely 100% is behind me on this and is happy that I am actually going on to do something that I want to do and that I'm advancing myself in my career and things like that, which is really awesome. So,
You should never hesitate to jettison your company and find a new one if they don't want to help you.
right. So,
Because they will do the same to you.
and that's what he's wanted. He wants me to go on and go do this and be successful with it. And so anything or anyway, so yeah, so that's pretty awesome. So, it's one of the things is the problem with me leaving my current position is I just do so many different things, that I'm literally thinking like this whole week has been kind of like, ooh, what small little loose ends do I have to tie up before I leave?
That sounds like you should have gotten a raise a long time ago then.
I did get a raise at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
When I took on a new position. Look, okay, I've talked about this before, I think. Maybe not on the actual show itself, but I won't say how much I make or anything like that. What I will say is that my new position is a significant pay increase. But here's the thing, so I understand it from the point of view of my current employer because this is a new entity, a new, basically, well, I was going to say adventure, but, it's, it's new. He's been a franchise owner for less than a year at this point. It'll be a year in March, right? And so, first time business owner. There are things to consider, things to figure out, how do you operate your company? So like I kind of get that from the financial side of, kind of trying to figure that stuff out, it's not like, it's somebody who's been in business for, a while that has things established and, it has some decent padding and things like that. By no means is the business not profitable. It's very profitable.
Well, hang on. See, I'll counter with this. That may be true, but that doesn't change your need to get paid.
Well, yeah, that's
Their
true.
circumstances don't change that.
That's true. I
It's
mean,
like when my manager gives me excuses for why, why this and this and this are all like delayed or not being talked about anymore. And I'm like,
well,
I
okay, so
don't
here's the
care.
other
It
thing.
doesn't matter to me.
So, I get a base pay, but I also got bonuses every month. Or opportunities to have bonuses every month. So, that increases some of the pay as well. And my healthcare was covered 100%. So, and that was, a good couple $100 a month. So, there are all those things. I didn't have anything coming out for that benefit. So, yeah, like I said, I get it. I get it. So there is that. You also have to remember that things are a little bit different in this area compared to your area, where the cost of living is significantly less in this area than it is in your area.
That's not an excuse to get paid less.
It's not. Right. Yes, I know.
Don't defend corporations.
It's not a corporation.
It is a corporation.
So,
look, it is. I don't care if it's a franchise.
Look, it's different, okay? I've looked at this kind of stuff from my point of view of running a business and having employees, and it's expensive. Employees are expensive. Very expensive.
I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm shrugging.
So, anyway, he's a good guy, and look, I made more than what the rest of the guys in my current company make because of my position. But could it be more? Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. I understand the back end of it. So but I mean it doesn't matter anymore. I'm leaving, so
no, it doesn't. You're
right. Look, I'd be lying if I said that that was or wasn't part of the reason of why I was looking for other positions either, So, but I don't know. It's not it doesn't matter anymore though. It's not a thing anymore now though. So
no, it doesn't matter. You're right.
So, moving on. Anyway. So yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I'm excited to be at my new position and to see what things are like, and I technically have a real person job now, quote unquote. The only thing though that I will miss about my current employer, and the job, is that
I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword. Yes, I will have my weekends to myself, but it was actually kind of nice to have one day off a week during the actual week to go get things done.
Well, I mean, we could go to the 4-day, 32-hour week, but apparently we don't do that.
But we'll see. It sounds like my new company may be somewhat flexible. So, I'll just have to see what things are like. So, anyway. One of the nice things about living in a small town though is so let's say I need to get stuff done on my vehicle. My mechanic will come pick up my vehicle free within, the city limits basically. So, and I will definitely be within the city limits. So, that's nice, right? Other things, well, you do what you got to do. So, anyway, one thing I'm excited about is that, because obviously I'm switching positions. Oh, I got to remember to cancel that stuff. I got to cancel all my stuff that I've got right now. So my healthcare, I canceled today. I got to do my dental and vision because I will have all those programs through my new employer, and then, sign up obviously for those, right? So it's really funny, but I am actually really excited that with this new employer that the dental insurance that they offer is dental insurance that my previous dentist actually takes. They're like, they don't work with a lot of insurance companies for whatever reason. I would guess that's because working with insurance companies is less than
It's like
ideal.
working with scammers. Yeah, I know.
So anyway, but yeah, so it's really small, but I'm excited to be able to go back to my old dentist. So right now I have to go to a more corporate style, like national dentist chain, and like the people are okay, but like, I don't know, they're not the same. So like the other one is like family owned, and like, so here's the funny thing, right? So it's the father and then his son now and his wife, and I went to school with the son, same grade. So so yeah, that's a thing. But anyway, how about some tech topics? Let's talk about those. What do I want to start with? Oh, you know what? Let's start with this. Let's start with the Facebook outage. You heard about this, didn't you?
I don't live under a rock, thanks for asking, though.
You don't use social media, though.
I mean, I'm know
not wrong.
What's happening.
So Facebook explains the backbone shutdown behind its global outage on Monday. This was on Monday? I thought this was just a couple days ago. But so, yeah. The massive outage that took down Facebook, its associated services, Instagram and WhatsApp, Oculus and Messenger, its platform for business, and the company's own internal network, all started with routine maintenance. Oh boy.
Yeah, supposedly it was DNS related.
Ooh. Wait, hold up. What? Okay, hang on. We'll get into that in a second. So, according to Infrastructure Vice President, Infrastructure Vice
Probably
President,
soon to be former.
a command issued during maintenance inadvertently caused a shutdown on the backbone that connects all of Facebook's data centers everywhere in the world.
It wasn't DNS related. I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Ignore me.
Do you remember any of your Cisco commands?
I mean, I don't remember the exact commands because, I mean, you know, at my job, I don't get to touch cool things like those. I get to touch passwords and stupid stuff.
Do you remember the command, no shutdown?
That doesn't mean prevent shutting down. That means turn it on.
It means do not shut down this port.
Yeah, but you use that command when you want to put that port up.
Exactly. You're not getting it. A command.
Okay, but that doesn't mean don't shut down the port if I tell you to.
Right. No. Hang on.
Which is presumably what they did. Tell it to shut down the port.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So. Right.
Yeah, a command issued during maintenance inadvertently caused a shutdown of the backbone that connects all of Facebook's data centers. The point is, did they never hear the command no shutdown? Anyway.
Okay.
That by itself is bad enough, but as we've already explained, the reason you couldn't use Facebook is that, yes, it was some DNS stuff, and BGP routing information. What is BGP?
Border Gateway Protocol.
What the flip is that? Is that like firewall stuff?
It's a routing protocol.
I know some networking stuff, but I don't know that networking stuff. Anyway, what does it do?
Routes traffic between routers?
Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know. Anyway, so
I mean, we didn't do BGP much, I don't think.
I never passed any of the networking classes.
Sorry to hear. I don't know.
Which is funny because I'm the one who does more networking stuff than you do. Anyway, I don't get into like all the like super complicated stuff. DNS though, DNS I am pretty familiar with. But anyway, Um, oh, that's something I gotta do. I'm going to switch the church's DNS like provider to Cloudflare. And so I got to figure out what I'm going to do that because it's going to temporarily break the website for like 24 to 48 hours.
Cool.
Yay! Because DNS! Woohoo!
I
Anyway.
don't know much about routing, but supposedly what happened is they did some things that made the routes to Facebook stop being advertised.
Well, so apparently,
So like Facebook was there, but no router would route to Facebook because no router knew where Facebook was.
yeah. So okay, hang on. So let's see here. So that by itself was bad enough, but as we already explained, the reason you couldn't use Facebook is that the DNS and BGP routing information pointing to its servers suddenly, yeah, just sort of kind of, I don't know, maybe disappeared. Just like poof, gone.
That's pretty much what I said, yeah.
The problem was a secondary issue, as Facebook's DNS servers noted the loss of connection to the backbone and stopped advertising the BGP routing information that helps every computer on the internet find its service. The DNS servers were still working, but they were unreachable.
Yeah, and then apparently some fun stuff happened, like employees couldn't even get into the building to fix the problem.
Okay, hang on. We need to talk about that in a second. The lack of network connections and loss of DNS cut off the servers from engineers trying to fix the issue and disabled many of the tools that normally are used for repair and communication. Yeah, yep. The door access stuff didn't work. So we are looking at adding keyless access to the church in the future here. Maybe next year, right? So I actually know somebody in the parish that works for a door manufacturing company. And so I was talking with him the other day, and I need to have a conversation with our pastor about, what things we want and what doors and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, one of my requirements when we implement a system is going to be, what do you think, Zach? So that this doesn't happen.
Some kind of manual override.
No. I want a system that is managed completely off cloud.
Okay.
Look, okay, don't get me wrong. Cloud stuff is awesome.
Can still screw up.
Huh?
Cloud stuff can still screw up, though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Cloud stuff is awesome, and it makes it really easy to access, but not only, one, does that open up more security risks, but two, yeah, when the internet goes out, you may suddenly not be able to access your building. So, woohoo! So yeah, no, I want a system that is completely removed from, well, not completely removed, so like the actual like system itself would like be connected to the internet and I could like remote into it, like, RDP and stuff like that. But like the actual management software will not live on the cloud. So it'll live on a server somewhere in the building, possibly in a virtualized environment, but yada, 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 cool, whatever. Yeah. So. The blog post notes that the engineers had additional hurdles due to the physical and system security around the crucial hardware. Once they did activate the secure access protocols, this is apparently not a code word for cut open the server door with an angle grinder. They were able to get the backbone online and slowly restore service in gradually increasing loads. That's part of the reason it took some people longer to get access back the other day, as the power and computing demand of turning everything on at once might have caused more crashes. So that's it. No conspiracy theories and no techs taking access to security facilities to turn Mark Zuckerberg's baby back on. Just a bug in the command that an audit tool missed, and for 6 hours, service that connects billions of people disappeared. Oh my. Yep. Oops. Just goes to show how fragile some of that stuff can actually be. You know? But okay, so what I am a little I guess surprised by is, look, okay, Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? Surely they couldn't have had just one system that does DNS.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna pretend to understand
No,
what goes on at Facebook.
I shouldn't know either, but like, don't you think a service that big, like a company that big and a service that big, especially when your entire existence is sort of kind of built on, I don't know, being on the internet, you think you might build some redundancies into that? Maybe? And maybe they did.
Sure it
I don't
has
know.
redundancies, though. That's the thing. I'm sure it does have redundancies.
Okay, but
This was just the freak event that killed all of them.
but that's not redundant.
I mean, you can have multiple redundancies fail. Like it could happen. The reason you have redundancies is because it's way less likely, but it still could happen.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't. Yeah, but like, okay, come on. Like, Facebook has servers all over the place. Like,
I don't know how Facebook works.
Like, can you imagine Amazon going down like this?
I mean, YouTube's gone down a couple times. Remember that? YouTube's pretty
No,
big.
no. It wasn't down. It just the portions of it didn't work. You can still access the website though. So
I'm fairly sure I recall an instance where I could not reach YouTube whatsoever.
that's possible. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just surprised that there wasn't more redundancy built in to prevent something like that from happening. But DNS is a funny thing. Well, actually, no. The DNS worked just fine. It was the BGP like routing, I guess, that made it stop working. Anyway, okay, so Zach, because I absolutely love doing this to you, how does DNS work?
You've asked me this before. You explain it this time. You've literally asked me this before.
Sorry, have I?
I know you have. I don't even think it was that long ago.
Interesting. Okay, so basically how DNS works, it stands for Domain Name Services, and it's kind of like an address book for the entire internet, right? So when you go to a website, hey Zach, what is the IP address of Google?
Let me look it up.
Here's the problem though. See, Zach does not know off the top of his head. Actually, hang on. I'm glad you're actually doing that. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick here. So, blink. So, you know what? I can't believe I'm going to do this, but we're going to pull up Bing. Just so that there's some variation here, right? So, let's do this. New private window. Actually, we'll do this, right? Okay, so what is the IP address of Google?
I've already said I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were looking it up.
Heck no.
All right, it is 142.250.190.142. Okay? So, if we take this here and we paste this in here, right? We hit enter, it takes us straight to Google. Now, you'll notice that the browser has basically, oh, goodness gracious. there we go. You'll notice that the browser is redirecting me back to Google here. So what's happening is rather than us having to remember what the IP address is of this, right? 142.250.190.142, because, like, Zach, who in their right mind is going to remember that?
A computer.
Right, a computer, right? But not a human, right? What's easier, remembering that number or remembering google.com? Remembering google.com. So anyway, the point behind DNS is that it takes that google.com and then it looks it up on the back end and says, oh, okay, Google actually equals 142.250.190.142. And then you get to the correct website that you want to go to. So yeah, that's basically how DNS works. Which is why when you change some of that information, maybe you move where your website is, right? Maybe you move it to a different server that has a different IP address. You have to update the DNS records on the back end, and then those have to basically propagate through the internet, which takes a while. So that's why I said when I switch stuff to Cloudflare that I'm probably going to break the church's website temporarily because certain people aren't going to actually be able to get to the website, and then your browser caches things too, so it's going to be looking for the website at one IP address through some DNS records, but it's not going to be there, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, so anyway, so that was a thing that happened. Sorry, I just got a text message. Anyway, I just got a text. Hang on. I just got a text from somebody. He's like, Siri got a little carried away on me. The first message is kind of a jumbled mess of stuff. So anyway,
Interesting.
Sorry, that was kind of funny. Oh, that text-to-speech stuff can be funny sometimes. Let's talk about this right here. Valve opens up a Stream Deck to explain why it thinks you shouldn't open it, Zach. Oh, this ought to be good. Valve has posted an official teardown of its upcoming handheld gaming PC, the Stream Deck. Before diving into a teardown, though,
Steam Deck.
Oh, the Steam Deck. I have a Stream Deck sitting right in front of me. That's the problem.
You should know that.
Shut up.
You literally own a Stream Deck.
That's why I said Stream Deck. That's what's in my head.
But then you should know that what you're looking at on the screen is not a Stream Deck.
Oh, shut up.
Right?
The Steam Deck, before diving into the teardown, though, the company spends about a minute to strongly caution against taking one apart unless you're sure you know what you're doing. Okay, fair enough. Even though it's your PC, or it will be once you've received your Steam Deck, and you have every right to open it up and do what you want, we at Valve really don't recommend that you ever open it up, a Valve representative said in the video. The Steam Deck is a very tightly designed system, and the parts are chosen carefully for this product with its specific construction, so they aren't really designed to be user swappable. You know, this isn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not like they're saying that, okay, look, here's the thing. I thought they were going to tell you, like, don't take it apart, anti-repair, yada, 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 which to some credit is probably a little bit true with this, but yeah, anyway.
Taking an interesting approach, actually. It's unlike Apple and such.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about them next.
This thing actually just has like an M2 SSD in it. You can replace that. That's about the only thing you'd probably want to replace. So you could buy the lower storage model and then put whatever drive you want in it. which
Speaking
is
of which,
cool.
okay, so we need to talk
And also,
about.
you can install whatever you want on it. It comes with their Linux distro, but you can put whatever you want on it. You can put Windows on it.
That's kind of neat.
It
So,
is neat.
so okay, look, okay, I'm actually okay with that. That's not as bad as what Apple has done with the iPhone 13 that you've just paid hundreds of dollars for, right? In fact, it's quite disturbing the lengths that Apple has gone to in order to retain control over your iPhone now. Zach, anyone that you know that is thinking about getting an iPhone 13, please discourage them from ever giving Apple any more money, because Apple has decided that on the new iPhone 13 that if you crack your screen, hey, guess what? Yeah, you're effed. You do not get to have a new screen put on your phone if you still want your Face ID to work.
Yikes. That's rough.
This
Yeah,
is
so
too far.
about that, my entire immediate family has opted to purchase the new iPhone.
No!
They have they have
Okay.
already been ordered.
Well, cancel their order.
My mom told me, "Do you want one too?" I'm like, "No, I have a phone that I like." What do you mean?
Okay, so if any of them crack their screen and they ever want Face ID to work, yeah, you're gonna have to go back to Apple.
Yeah, I know. I think they have insurance through the carrier, but I don't know. Whatever.
Insurance for your carrier is great, but it's a pain in the rear end.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, you gotta like send your phone in and then wait for them
Basically,
to send
I
you a
take
new
the view
one.
that it's not really my problem. Like they know what I think about Apple products.
Here is the problem with
And
this though, and
despite
actually,
my mom complaining, "Oh, everyone else has an iPhone. You should have one too. It would make things so much easier." I'm like, "No,
this could be
I
actually
like
very
my phone.
interesting. This could be very interesting.
I'm the
actually.
holdout. I'm the Android holdout in the family."
Good for you. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this real quick, because this actually could be very interesting for a lot of reasons, right?
They've done this before though. Like if you replace the home button, it would break. And
Right, but okay, this is different. This is the screen. The most common.
what about just the glass?
What do you mean, just the glass?
They can't detect if you've replaced just the glass.
Okay,
Right?
here's the problem with replacing just the glass, though. In order to do it, right?
Oh, you have to do the whole screen, don't you?
Yes. Okay, look. Okay, here's the thing, right? So here's the process for doing just the screen, right? If you want to do just the glass on top, you have to somehow remove the glass from the OLED panel underneath, which is extremely fragile. So you have to do that without damaging the OLED panel, which the slightest nick in just the right spot is enough to completely cause the whole OLED panel to go out, right? And then assuming that you do get the OLED panel and glass separated from each other, then you have to like do some weird stuff with like this adhesive and put it on there, and then you have to like smooth it out and get all the air bubbles out of there, and then it has to go into a vacuum chamber with like heat. And so it's basically, the point is that doing a glass only repair is a very specialized process that requires specialized equipment to do, right? So my current entity that I work for, when we do screen repairs for devices, we buy those screens as a remanufactured assembly, basically, where somebody has already taken the old glass off and applied it on there, so that we basically just have a full assembly already put together, right? Because that's what we're able to do. So here's the problem, right, with this, is that, again, like I said, the most common thing, 90% of what stuff comes into, actually, probably 95% of the stuff that comes into my particular entity right now is either a screen or a battery, right? So here's the problem. What's the first thing somebody's going to break on this phone, Zach?
It's definitely going to be the screen or the
Exactly.
back glass.
It's going to be, well, yeah, the screen or the back glass, right? Don't even get me started on the back glass.
Oh, I know one family member who will be getting an OtterBox. The other two have, well, one has a good track record of not damaging devices, and the other, I think, has had a couple of incidents.
So here's the thing, right? So the
We'll
screen
see.
is going to be the very first thing to more than likely get broken, right? So the problem with this is, especially in my area and a lot of areas, right, is that, okay, so you break the screen, right? So what do? You take it to a third-party repair shop because that's what's available in your area, and you say, hey, please put a new screen on this. Third-party repair shop puts a new screen on it. Apple has decided that, hey, we're going to put a message on the screen now as of like the iPhone like 11s and be like, yeah, we can't verify that it's like a genuine actual screen, like yada yada yada. Like, okay, fine, whatever, right?
Even though most of these screens all come from the same vendors anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So anyway, yada yada yada. And everyone's happy, right? Well, now with the iPhone 13, when this happens, right? You're going to take it to your third-party repair shop, and the third-party repair shop's going to put a screen on your phone. And then your Face ID is magically no longer going to work because the awesome little chip that Apple pairs to the motherboard is integrated into the screen, and Apple does this because they claim it's for security purposes, even though everyone knows it's just there so that they can absolutely F over every single third-party repair shop.
Yeah.
I am sick of this. And honestly, this is way too far. Now, with that said...
Yeah, but like every company on Earth does that.
Hang on, though. With that said, right? Does this now open an anti-competitive and monopolistic view on repair for that device?
I'm sure it does. They're going to keep pushing everybody's buttons on this matter until
Here's the thing. What I am hoping is
in the legal
is that
system.
because of this decision that Apple has made, right? Because there are going to be plenty of people who are affected by this problem. Plenty of people.
You're hoping that this sparks high awareness and then
I am hoping that this is finally a step too far, that somebody like an Epic, right? Or even just people in general, right? Finally say, no, this is anti-competitive, and there's a lawsuit.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because honestly, it is. Because what does this mean? It means that if anyone wants to repair their iPhone 13, not just themselves, but a third-party repair shop, if they want to take it to a third-party repair shop and have it fixed, you know, a device that cost over $1,000, mind you, a device that you supposedly own.
It's pretty sad how they just don't want you to own your phone at all.
If you want the full functionality of it, right, on a component that is the most likely component to get broken, that your phone will cease to function properly unless you specifically take it back to Apple.
Then dictates the price of such repairs. Yes.
They dictate the price and they dictate who can perform the repair.
Yes, of course.
That is monopolistic.
Probably a poorly trained quote-unquote genius does it.
I am hoping that this is finally enough for people to finally say, hey, you know what? Maybe we really should look at this whole right to repair thing.
I really don't understand why people aren't looking at it already. It's like, it's so obvious that like, hey,
because these companies have spent so much money in trying to create this disinformation about right to repair and push back against it. I bet you
don't understand how anyone can view an option as bad. Like it's an option. I don't get it.
Well, and I think that a lot of people who aren't in the tech space are just unaware of it in general. There needs to be a more awareness. And hopefully, this decision by Apple creates that. Which, honestly, if this blows up in Apple's face, is going to be hilarious. But I think that at some point you will see people push back on this when they realize that, especially like, you know how close the nearest Apple store is to my area, Zach?
Oh, that's funny. I know where this is going, yeah.
Do you know how close it is?
Probably pretty far.
It's like 2 hours in either direction, north or south.
Nice.
Not to mention, right? So, if as if it wasn't bad enough that now you have to drive 2 hours, right, to get your like $13,000 iPhone that you supposedly own fixed, right? Because Apple has decided that, hey, no, nobody else can fix your phone, right? As if it wasn't bad enough that you already have to drive 2 hours, right? You have to set up an appointment with the Apple Store, which, by the way, once you get there, they will more than happily tell you, oh yeah, even though you have an appointment, F you, because, well, you're still going to have to wait.
Right. Yeah. I get that. Fun. Good. Cool.
I get heated about these things. One, because it was my livelihood. It won't be anymore. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop caring about these things, right?
Yeah,
If I own a device...
I'm just not in a heated mood today, or else I'd be with you.
If I own a device, I should be able to do whatever the heck I want with that device. I bought it. So, Apple, am I buying your phone or am I renting it from you?
You are paying a fee to permanently rent it from them. There is no time that you have to give it back, but Apple reserves the right to just do stuff to it when they feel like it.
What'll be interesting to see is that if this decision gets reversed somehow through a software update, which would be very interesting, actually.
Indeed.
Because if they are unable to turn it off as a software update, then, you know, that could be a really interesting thing. Oh my gosh. The video is like freaking out over on your side. I see that here. That must be something to do with, I'm going to actually turn that off and try this again. There. That was weird. Anyway. Apple is no longer the company that it used to be. And people wonder why when I tell them that I am no longer a fan of Apple. They wonder why I say that. And it's like, well, because I get the privilege of spending like over $1,000 on a device that I supposedly own, but I can't do what I want with.
Oh yeah? Well, not the company they use, because being the good guy isn't profitable.
But that's the thing. It totally could be. Think about how many people... Look, okay, here's the thing, right? Okay. Well, let's think of it this way, right? So I just told you that the nearest Apple store to my area is 2 hours north or south, right? So when a person comes into my entity to get a screen repair, how much of that money goes to Apple?
Probably a lot of it.
Coming to my entity to get it fixed?
Well, you probably overpaid for the screen, no?
No, because I didn't
buy it from Apple.
I can't buy it from Apple.
I'm sure you're blacklisted.
Remember, there really is nobody who can buy components direct from Apple. So
Except
my
for
point
authorized service providers, right?
Right, but my point is that my entity gives no money back to Apple for that part. Apple never sees a cent of it, right? Would it not make more sense for Apple?
But it's almost like they saw all the money when you bought the device.
But see, here's the thing. So you say it's not profitable, right? But what if Apple, right? What if Apple sold a genuine component to me? Right?
Be very cool.
Here's the thing. Yes, they are not making the full amount of money that they could be making doing a repair, right? However, they're at least getting something out of that transaction. Now, okay, I'm not going to give it away, but my entity is not a small entity. We have a fair number of locations throughout the United States, right? Think about if my entity was buying genuine screens from Apple in bulk. That's a lot of money. In fact, so much money that Samsung has decided to partner with my entity. I have access to genuine Samsung parts through my entity. So apparently Samsung thought it was profitable enough.
Yeah, but Apple are special snowflakes.
So the argument of it's not profitable, complete BS. The argument of, it's a training and safety issue thing, BS. You know, Samsung has not actually really provided any training material to us. And we can do repairs on it. We can put a new screen on it. We can put a battery on it, right? And Samsung's not worried about it being, like improper. So, I don't know. It's just, this stuff irritates the crap out of me. I don't know. If I own a device, I should be able to do what I want with it. Right?
Correct,
Redmond.
of course.
Redmond. Right? Built it from the ground up. Right? Every single component. I can swap it out as I please. I own the entire device. Can you imagine if Asus was like, hey, you bought a motherboard from us, but it will only work with this one specific processor, and you have to buy that processor from us, and it has to be linked to the motherboard. Can you imagine? That would never fly. Even if you buy a computer from a Best Buy or Walmart or something like that, or even an OEM, right? A desktop in general, you can pull the side cover off. Oh, hey, I want to add more memory? Okay, I'm going to go buy some and put more memory in it. Where did we go wrong with the mobile phone? I don't know. I do not know. That is one thing that I'm happy that the PC industry has not let Apple take. So, anyway, all right, rant over. Let's talk about this, Zach. Windows 11 is causing performance issues for some AMD Ryzen processors.
Oh, great.
Windows 11 is officially out. But if you've got an AMD Ryzen processor, you might want to hold off on updating for a bit. The company is reporting that its chips...
I'm going to hold off a long time.
Are reporting that its chips might have issues with the new OS that could cause performance drops of up to 15% in some cases, Zach.
Why?
One word for you, Zach. Microsoft. Inadvertently, how can Microsoft screw this up? Oh, I don't know. They'll figure out a way. Microsoft screwing things up since I don't know when. Anyway, AMD and Microsoft have found two main issues with Windows 11 on Ryzen. The first is that Windows 11 may cause L3 cache latency to triple. Okay, joy. AMD says that the issue could cause 3 to 5% worse performance and most affected applications, while some games, AMD specifically calls out those commonly used for esports, could see performance dips of 10 to 15%.
Okay, so are they planning to fix it? Or is they just this how it is?
I don't know. Windows 11 is also having issues with AMD's preferred cores technology, which usually aims to shift threads over to faster cores on a processor. AMD warns that users could see performance issues on CPU-reliant tasks, specifically on processors with more than 8 cores, about 65-watt TDP.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass. Thanks.
AMD and Microsoft have officially confirmed that they are actively investigating these known issues for resolution via software updates.
Yeah,
I was going to ask the question as to why we didn't know about this stuff beforehand, but then again, let's remember that Microsoft is the company that released a Windows update that just randomly decided that, hey, yeah, you know that document that you had on your computer? Yeah, you don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not touching that Windows 11 trash for at least a little while, thanks.
Yeah, so the two companies promised that both a Windows update and a software update are planned for later this month to try and resolve these issues. But in the meantime, you might want to stick to Windows 10 until AMD and Microsoft sort things out. Yeah, I intend to stick to Windows 10 for quite a while.
Windows 10 for quite a few years, I think.
Yeah. So, that's a thing that happened. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Couple quick things. Let's see here. This is interesting. Amazon is reportedly working on a smart fridge, Zach.
Oh, great. Just what the world needs.
They might be working on its own smart fridge, according to a new report from Insider Project Pulse. As the project is titled internally, it's reportedly being developed by the same Amazon physical store units.
Complete with
Amazon Go stores.
Complete with a cringeworthy code name to go with it. Amazing.
So, okay, so here's the thing. So, it's designed to track your inventory and purchase habits. Oh, boy.
Oh, yes. Please.
Of course.
Please let us install... Please pay us to install surveillance technology in your home. Please.
Of course it is. There's the catch.
I'm sure it will automatically order me things for my convenience, right?
Yep,
and in order to do so, it has to track everything.
Yep, here you go, Zach. It predicts what you want and have it delivered. Oh, yes, of course.
I mean, it sounds cool on paper, but then you realize that the only reason it exists is so they can get marketing data.
Okay, look, if it was local to the device, that would actually be really cool, but...
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay, this is kind of a cool feature. The fridge could also track expiration dates, suggest recipes based on the products in your fridge, and offer an easy way to order more food from Amazon Fresh or Whole Foods grocery store. Okay, there are some cool things about this until you get into the whole tracking part of it, right?
This is cool until you realize you have to sell your soul to get it.
Yeah.
And then, look, they should be giving you this for free because you are the product. You shouldn't be paying for this. You're the product. If you're the product, it should at least be free for you.
There's no telling if or when Amazon will introduce the product, but it will likely partner with other manufacturers if it does, according to the report. Smart fridges aren't a new idea. Samsung and LG have both offered appliances that can identify food, connect to digital systems like Bixby in some cases, and even easily order more groceries. Right, but it's not harvesting your data. Well, it probably is, actually.
I mean, it probably is. They probably are, too. What makes you think they're not?
I realized that after I said that. If it really is working on if it is really working on a fridge, Amazon's value add would be its network of grocery stores and the work already done using computer vision to identify grocery items in Amazon Go convenience stores and dash carts. Okay.
Jeez, 1 year. I'm sure some year in the future, people like us are gonna be those type of people who are just stuck in the past and conspiracy theorists.
I don't know. Okay,
we don't. Oh, back in my day, my fridge wasn't spying on me. And we still use like a non-smart dumb fridge because
Look, okay,
I
hang
don't
on.
trust those newfangled smart fridges.
Here's the
It's
thing.
spying on me. It's sending my data to Bezos.
Actually, I got to tell you a funny story in a second. Well, maybe a funny story, but an interesting story that happened the other day. So anyway, I'd like to believe that. Look, here's the thing. I'd like to believe that I will follow along with these trends, right? But at the same time, like be aware that they're there and think they're cool and things like that, but at the same time also respect, like respect the
Choose not
privacy,
to own
right?
one.
Yeah, because of my own privacy, decisions and things like that. But the actual, idea of following along with this kind of stuff and things like, yeah, sure, I'm embedded in the tech world, right? No, okay, so you saying that made me think of this the story the other day. So I had an older gentleman come in and was having some problems with his phone. His cell phone battery had swelled up, right? And so he's came to the store. I think the cell phone company had told him hey come to us. We can supply batteries and things like that, and so yeah, we've got vendors and things like that. But I wasn't I didn't have one available, but we had the option to have a vendor ship him one. And so the guy's like, okay, so I get all of his information, yada yada yada. And then I tell him what the price is, and he's like super hesitant to give me his he's like, what do you mean I gotta pay for it before you send it to me? I'm like, yeah. Well, how do I know you're gonna send it to me? So I'm trying to
because I'm a big company, and
right.
if I wouldn't be a big company if I didn't send people the things they paid for.
Right, that's why I was like,
I'd be out of business.
Right, I was like, I'm more likely to, like, how do I know you're gonna pay me, right? You're like a small individual that's hard to track down. If I don't send you your product, like, here's the thing, we're a big company. We wouldn't, like, that would never fly. We'd be out of business faster than you could say, I don't know what, but, so anyway, so he calls me back the next morning because he had gotten his phone to turn on, and I was like, well, yeah, sure. And now he thinks I'm trying to scam him by, trying to get him to buy a battery.
Oh my.
And I'm trying to...
if your battery is swelled up...
And I'm trying to explain to him that, like, yes, your battery is still working right now, and it probably will continue to work for a while, but that swelling is an indication that that battery is bad, and in fact, could potentially be a safety, risk.
Well, and not only that, but a battery literally inflating itself inside of your phone is a recipe to just break other parts of your phone purely by the inflation of the battery.
Well, that's true too, I guess. I think it was more like a flip phone or something like that. But anyway, so I'm trying to explain to him. Worse. I'm trying to explain to him that it could be a potential security risk, and that yes, even though your phone is working right now, with that battery, that it is something that should be replaced down the line, right?
Let me guess, he wasn't buying it at all.
Well, he wasn't at first, and then he eventually was like, well, just send the battery to me, right? Because I was like, well, I can refund your money, but like, I'll either need you to come back into the store, or you'll have to give me your credit card over the phone, right? And he kept thinking like, oh, you're trying to sell me a bunch of like BS and like, or feed him a bunch of BS and basically things like that. He's like, you're lying to me just to try to get money out of me. And it's like, no, I'm not. Like, I like legitimately am like that's not what we're about at my particular entity, at least in my particular franchise. There's been a number of times where I have told people, like, hey, look, like people bring their phones in and they're having issues, and we just tweak a couple of settings for them and say, hey, look, I think it's just some weird setting stuff that was like kind of eating up your battery. Like, take your phone, go home, test it out a couple days. If you're still having problems, come back and see me. Like, I'm literally telling people, like, I'm not out to, like, take their money where it's like, oh, yeah, ha, ha, ha.
You should tell him that as a As an employee, I see none of this money anyway. Don't worry.
um,
That usually shuts people up.
so anyway, but yeah, like I'm explaining to him that like, because it's puffed up like that it could potentially be a a safety risk. And he's just thinking, oh, I'm like totally off the rails and everything like that. And I'm like,
Well,
all
then he
right.
can have his battery blow up, and
The
then you'll
likelihood
have
of the
told him
battery
what's gonna
blowing up
happen.
is probably pretty low.
I realize that, but then look,
But
in
like,
that case, fine. He can let his battery inflate until it snaps the case of the phone, or the PCB inside it, or whatever.
yeah,
And
or
then
it does
he can
potentially start a small
understand that you
fire.
were correct.
Yeah, or it does potentially start a small fire or something like that,
Or just stop turning on, probably more likely.
Yeah, I would guess stop turning on more likely.
He
So,
can keep using his phone until that happens, and then he'll be back.
and that was the thing, was that at the current time he came in, it wasn't turning on, right? And then like he went home and probably plugged it in, and then the phone turned on, and now he's like, well, everything's fine. And it's like, yeah, for right now, but we would definitely recommend that you replace that battery. And it's like, wow, like now it's all fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like,
There's nothing wrong with
no.
it except for all the things that are wrong with it.
Yeah, it's like, right, yes, I understand that is working right now, and it will probably continue to work for a while, but at some point it will stop working. And he's like, you're lying to me. So anyway, but it's a good example of and there probably is some of that culture that exists. Think about it, like there's still some of that culture when you think of like some industries like mechanics, right? You go take your car in for like the the $15 oil change, right? They're like, okay, so the oil change is done, but you need this, and this. It's like, yeah, no, I don't. But anyway, so I saw this too. This was interesting, and I want to take a look at this real quick. The title of this reads, Zach, Firefox's address bar has ads now.
Yeah, they do include some prepackaged silly extensions that are trash.
Is that what these are?
This thing called Pocket has been packaged with Firefox forever, and I view it as basically advertising.
Oh, no, you know what it is? It's like when you start typing stuff into the top, like Firefox suggests. Oh, okay. So it's basically doing the same thing as like what like a Google would do, basically, just in the address bar. So, all right, well, whatever. So, cool. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this week. I don't think we'll be here next week unless we decide to pick a different day, Zach. Because yeah, I have some commitments next Thursday that will be taking place during this particular time. So we will talk about that after we finish the show here. What we want to do. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for joining us. And if you know anybody who is considering getting the new iPhone 13, please discourage them from getting it. Or maybe not, so that we can have more of a user base that is completely pissed off when they can't get their phone fixed economically.
So. I don't really bother trying to tell people what to buy anymore. I'm just like, whatever, buy what you like.
Anyway, so yeah, that is that. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Get subscribed down below if you haven't done that already. And we will see you possibly next week. We'll figure it out. We'll see you next time. Bye!